Hey, what's going on? How everybody is doing? Well, as far as I goes, let me tell you something. This will be the last time that I ever eat some spicy food. I talk about spicy, because I think Popeye's chicken just came out with like I'm trying to think of the name of that chicken. Uh, the sweet and spicy chicken. It was good, but uh, it was a hella spicy. Let me tell you, it was so spicy that it was so spicy that I can just feel like the burn from the inside. I mean, it's messed me up. Now I'm just kind of rocking back and forth. Mind you, I had this like this afternoon, I think, like hours ago, and let me tell you, the whole day, I can just feel that spice in me. I'm like, never again. Especially Popeye from Popeyes, that that spicy wingette. But if you curious want to try, and if you love spicy food, go ahead, knock yourself out. As far as I goes, that's not for me. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, so many things, that's been going on in the news, and as far as when it comes to me, I kind of for a while I've been staying off of social media gossip. I mean, the latest I have done was about Tupac and stuff, because me, I'm a Tupac fan. I'm gonna actually talk about that, especially knowing who potentially was involved in Tupac's death. Of course, I'm gonna talk about it. This is something that I would like to look into. But other these social media gossips and stuff, and these bloggers, they be saying things that may not be true. I don't really pay that on mind. I just sometimes just continue doing schoolwork, or just go on to just work and listen to music and play video games. Some of the stuff I enjoy doing. And speaking of my favorite, one of my like me being a fan of Pac, Jada Pinkett Smith, and I think all of you probably know of what she did currently involving Will Smith, which I think she actually did stated this on the Red Table Talk. She revealed, and she's supposed to have a book coming out, like a memoir, some kind of a book. I don't know when it's going to come out, but mark my words, that book is going to be a bestseller. But she stated that her and Will Smith were separated since 2016. That's like 7 years ago, and depends on a month. So it like pretty much 7 years ago. And when people kind of look into that, it kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm not surprised at that, because it showed that Jada Pinkett, of course, that infamous entanglement situation she talked about on the Red Table Talk, and everybody making jokes and memes about it. Well, it came out that during a time when those two were separated, Chris Rock asked her out on a date. And I'm like, so that explains it. There's usually a meaning behind, that slap that Will Smith did. It's something more deeper than a joke about her hair being bald. It's just like a benign joke, but he didn't really went in on her. He just talked about her relating to a movie of G.I. Jane. That's just how he do as a comedian. He didn't say anything very, very offensive. It was more of a benign joke. But I know, and not to mention Will Smith was laughing at that at first. But I know it's something deeper than that with that slap. You know how you get into a relationship with somebody and they may leave just some cup on the counter, half empty with maybe a drink, and they get so angry and start yelling at you. Why did you do such and such? Or they get mad because you probably let's say, leave some hair on the sink. They get so angry and mad at you, they start raising Cain. It's more than just, those little minor things. It's more than just a cup that's on the counter with a little bit of whatever you're drinking in it. It's a cumulative things that happen, and that probably the cup with a half drink in it could be the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think that was the situation with Will Smith. Him and Chris Rock was somewhat like friends, and Jada. I mean, he was considered a friend of the family, as you see in his pictures, and they took pictures together, and I think from what it stated, he just be in their home a lot. And one of the lessons I do learn is when you see if you're a person in a relationship, and let's just say you got a friend that's being a little too extra friendly with you and your spouse, more likely they want to take your place. They want what you got, including your spouse. And well, in this case, Chris Rock really want Jada Pinkett, and he wanted to take Will Smith's place. And when he found out that they actually separated and probably getting a divorce, Chris Rock thinking that, okay, this is my time to dive in. I know I've been their friends. I know I've been a friend of them for a long time, but they don't really know. I don't think they know that I'm really being friendly with Will Smith so I can get to Jada. You got people that actually do that. And Will Smith probably felt betrayed. And he probably think of Chris Rock as a homewrecker. Well, I'm going to put it to you like this. Again, please excuse this train. This train is so annoying. But anyway, and back to this. I think that Jada, coming from my own personal opinion, I don't think she loved Will. I'm just making conjectures. And based off an obvious situation, I don't think she loved Will as much as Will loved Jada, maybe. Will Smith, tolerate a lot of stuff with her. He actually, during her birthday, 40th birthday, he planned so many. I think during her 40th birthday, he did something with her, did something to her. He gave her all kind of gifts and presents. And Jada Pinkett even mentioned that when Tupac died, Will Smith tried to cheer her up with balloons and flowers. And this goes to show you that Will Smith really been loving Jada Pinkett ever since. I'm just saying, Will Smith got that genuine love for Jada. Very genuine. That's a genuine love he had with Jada Pinkett. And, when it comes to relationship, I think, the feelings need to be equal. Not one person love that person. Not one person love a little bit more harder than the other. The love gotta be very consensual. Very, very consensual for it to equal out. And I don't think that she actually respect Will for basically humiliating him on live TV. And she even stated that during that Oscar, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, she thought it was a skit until he sit back down and she looked at him and she said, "Oh, it's not. Oh, this is serious." And I think that I think she did state that she asked Will, "Is he all right?" She actually asked him that. But I think Will Smith went up there on his own accord, knowing that Chris Rock tried to get with Jada Pinkett. But Jada actually basically denied his request, like reject his request. Yeah, so it wasn't really no problem for Chris to, I guess, just be yourself, tell jokes, to Jada. And for him to say, keep my wife name out your mouth. You got a wife that, I mean, I'm just saying, Will. Will has a wife that hasn't lived with him for 7 years. I mean, legally separated but married. I mean, what kind of spouse is that? You working it out while you're separated. We still married, but we just won't live in the same place. You know, I'm actually having an entanglement with August, but I'm a married woman. I mean, that's like one of the weirdest marriages ever. Like, I don't really want to butt into people's relationship or anything, because people can do what they want to do in their relationship. But I just kind of look at it as kind of awkward. And a lot of people say Jada Pinkett is a narcissist. I can kind of see that. But don't get it twisted. When I look at Jada, and I don't blame Chris Rock. Jada Pinkett looked good. She looked very attractive. And she's like, of course, 50-something, in her 50s, in her early 50s. She do look attractive. Will Smith know that she look attractive. And he know that people like Chris Rock will want to get with her. But the only person I see that Jada Pinkett really, really did love, or still do love, is Tupac. And her and Tupac pretty much grew up together. They grew up together in Baltimore, and I wouldn't say grew up together. They actually went to school together in the School of Performing Arts in Baltimore. And they actually became famous together and remained friends. And you could just kind of look at Jada, and she actually has that persona of her dating guys who, I wouldn't say bad boy, but it seemed like she used to be around guys who, got that, who gave off a certain aura. I mean, Tupac must have something that Will Smith don't have. And Will Smith, you look at him, he's supposed to be like a ladies' man. He's supposed to be pretty smooth, based on the roles he be on movies. But it seemed like he don't really personify the characters he portrayed. Like what his name is, this guy off of Bad Boy. I'm trying to remember the character he played on Bad Boy. I was going to say Marcus, or Marcus is Martin Lawrence's character. But this character on Bad Boys, he was pretty much a ladies' man. He had women after women. And of course, we all know Mr. Hitch, the character he played as Hitch. Well, he giving dating advice, how to pick up women, how to be smooth, how to have game. But if you were to look at look at what he has going on now, it just don't relate to it. But sometimes, like we'll say, love can make you do silly things. But let me ask this question: do you think that Jada Pinkett is the bad person, is the bad guy, as some they say? Do you think Jada Pinkett is wrong? Do you think Will Smith need to let it all go and move on with his life? Go ahead and divorce her, move on with his life, and do what he enjoy, or get somebody else who really love him? Do you think Jada Pinkett really loved Will Smith? Speaking of love, I know that Will Smith loved Jada, but do you think Jada loved Will, despite of humiliating him on national television? Well, I don't want to say television, but on a national show that is aired on Facebook, the Red Table Talk. Do you think that Will Smith is doing the right thing, being a husband, where he's still being loyal to his wife, he's still trying to fight for his marriage? And do you think a marriage is worth fighting for, despite the other party don't want to make it work as much as you will? Well, that's an easy question right there. Of course not. So I'm just going by, speculation based off of behaviorism. And some people say that Jada is actually bitter because Will is still, before that slap, Will Smith was a top star in Hollywood. And Jada Pinkett hasn't done like any kind of movies in the last almost 20 years. If not really like 20 years, he hasn't really done much movies in 20 years. And if you're looking for, and also if it wasn't for Will Smith, Jada probably wouldn't. Her career probably wouldn't last as long. It'd be very short. But she kind of clinged off of the Will and Jada brand. And that's like a brand name, Will and Jada. But tell me what you think about that question, about those questions I just gave you. What do you think?